Hello friends and welcome back to ReddX, your source for the freshest daily cringe content anywhere on the internet. Promise swearsies, it's just a fact and it's totally science. Go ahead and look it up. Today, we've got a post from 4chan that hits a little bit too close to home. The title might give you a clue, but let's go ahead, read on through the post, and see what red flags we might spot along the way. Political persecution of Asperger men. That's right, everybody's politically persecuted these days. Be me, legit clairvoyant genius, bordering on predicting the future. Already, we're so far off in the weeds. And even from the second line, it only goes downhill. Don't connect with 99.9% of humans, normies, because they're clinically brain dead compared to me. A little bit of narcissism mixed in there. Oh, that's making a nice foul soup. Never had any friends or girlfriends. Women instinctively hate aspy men because we don't fall for their manipulation. I'm sure that's the reason. Go to med school. Keep getting suspended for 6 months every year in there because, I don't know, he's just weird. I mean, they seem to have nailed that one down pretty good, which we'll definitely see as we read on. Teachers legit put that in the reports. Quote, he does everything right, but he's just weird. He creeps us out when he does XYZ. I wonder what XYZ actually is. Please elaborate. Med School Exam Commission says they have to suspend me, but can't kick me out because I literally didn't do anything wrong. Yeah, I don't think that's what they said to you. There's more to the story here. Takes me 10 years to finish med school. Become a raging alcoholic every time they suspend me. Oh yeah, it's their fault I'm a raging alcoholic. In a blackout, drunken stupor, I torture one of my rabbits in my own garden and get convicted for it due to some roasty videotaping it. Yeah, can't a man torture rabbits in his own backyard? What the hell? You think you're somehow justified in that? You truly believe that you're the victim here? He does. He absolutely does. Allegedly kick my annoying puppy dog in garden. Police raid my home SWAT style like I killed someone. I mean, I'm inclined to believe that the dog you referred to as annoying was kicked by you at some point. SWAT style raid, a little over the top? Yeah, maybe. But something tells me it's not the first time that they've been tipped off to you. Police report this to the med school. Why, you might ask? Because the local officer was angry that I got off. Yep, big revenge plot. Mandatory reporting's probably not a thing, right? Med School Exam Committee says they refuse to issue my diploma now, despite having all the points from the curriculum. Got fired from my job because it depended on the diploma. Destitute. It's your fault for being a degenerate alcoholic. I mean, it is your fault. How are you so intent on blaming everyone around you for your own actions? I've seen some delusion before, but this is a new level. Dear Asperger's brothers, with my whole heart, I strongly recommend you to just go NEET, which is not in employment, education, or training, for those following along at home. Never try to do anything in academics, especially if you're not a cuck, and insist on speaking your mind like a man. Oh, he's a big, strong man. Tortures little bunny rabbits like a big, strong man. You're sick, dude. I'd love to see you go against the wall, if I'm honest. You will be chewed out, and you will realize too late that your success has nothing to do with your actual results, but how much other humans, normies, like you. Yes, like you. The entire world hates us. Being high IQ is like being a nobleman during the French Revolution. Do you read the things that you post before you post them? What the hell? Asperger isn't even real. It stems from being so high IQ that you never connect with other people because their thoughts are on the level of a dog compared to you, so you never socialize. Conclusion, death to normies. For all this talk about high IQ, you seem like a low IQ individual to me. Don't like people, yet want to be a doctor, a very people-heavy field? Not very bright. Blame women for not being interested in you, even though you're an alcoholic who tortures small animals. The true mark of genius is flexibility within your own thoughts. You can't be this blatantly unobservant and still call yourself a genius. I mean, I guess you could call yourself a genius, but at that point, you're only deluding yourself. So this 4chan post was made by one Fouad L, a resident of the Netherlands, and he ended up going on a killing spree in Rotterdam very recently, less than a day ago as I'm recording this. He was found to have much far right-wing propaganda on his phone, which I guess coincides with the 4chan thing. Religion, not stated, but the name itself is Moroccan, which I do find to be something of note, and also draws strange parallels, again, to the Raja Manifesto that we're reading on the channel. So this 32-year-old bag of trash murdered a mother and her 14-year-old daughter, presumably the mother that was mentioned in the 4chan post. After the killings, he then set their home on fire before traveling to the nearby Erasmus Medical University, where he shot dead a 43-year-old professor, presumably one of those that he had been sparring with in the past. A lot of this is speculation, of course. Not much information has been released at all. Obviously, local authorities were aware of this fellow and his activities, but no action was taken until it was far too late. In the Netherlands, you're not allowed to have any firearms whatsoever. Where he got the gun, yet another mystery that's yet to be solved. For just a bit more background on the type of degenerate we're dealing with, upon his arrest in 2021 for animal abuse, officers found 2 crossbows in his house, which prosecutors described as, quote, unhygienic, dirty, and covered in animal feces, according to some leaked documents. The suspect's 4chan post about the incident read, police got real triggered by my pee bottles. It's just bed pots. Why does it trigger normies so much? So yes, the self-affirmed genius clairvoyant peeing into Mountain Dew bottles and leaving them by his bed. Honestly, just a pathetic picture of a human being who didn't have any control over his own life, so he decided to take control over somebody else's. I suppose lastly, should be mentioned that Fouad L was also taken to court for allegedly shooting a pigeon through the heart, presumably with one of the crossbows that they found in his apartment, but the case was dismissed by a Dutch judge after they ruled that the police did not provide sufficient evidence. When asked whether the suspect had been previously rejected from Erasmus's medical facility, Rotterdam's mayor Ahmed Aboutaleb said that was a scenario that they were, quote, taking into account. Burning chairs in a classroom, students sprinting for their lives from a medical hospital. The story itself is a travesty, and I think the failure falls to just about everybody involved. It would be easy to pass the buck on to society. That is what this maniac tried to do. Of course, most of the blame falls squarely on his shoulders, and I'm glad that he's alive. My one regret is that the Netherlands doesn't have the death penalty. On the plus side, the Netherlands does have life imprisonment, so there's at least some sort of silver lining that we can hang on to, I guess. Will this guy get the mental help that he so desperately needs? At this point, doesn't matter to me. You've sunk to the darkest depths, you've done the unthinkable, and the course has been charted all along the way by the police. The pictures are harrowing, and as much as I love sites like the Chans, Kiwi Farms, even Reddit, there is this seedy underbelly to all of these websites. You get these weirdos set up in Telegram chats, and they sort of just spur each other on. Not that he was in a Telegram chat that we know of. It could just be one guy that completely lost the plot, but it doesn't seem that way, especially looking at some of the responses in the thread on that original post that he made. Some people might think that he's trolling and spur him along, do a little trolling of their own, you know, but it's never okay. Anybody who tried to lead him down that darker path, they are somewhat complicit, and I hope that they feel deep guilt and shame for what they've done. Finally, the royal family have come out and shared tributes to the victims. King Willem-Alexander and Queen Maxima said in a statement, "Our hearts go out to the family and friends of the victims of this afternoon's violent acts in Rotterdam." Oh, how generous. Thoughts and prayers, thoughts and prayers. Even in a country with free healthcare, such as the Netherlands, we're still seeing some mental health care cases slip through the cracks. This guy didn't come out of nowhere. Like I said, there was a record. Far be it from me to advocate for the police to have even more power, but in a situation like this, what can actually be done? In my view, this entire thing would have been easily avoided if he had faced charges for the actions that he had taken earlier on. Plenty of people get kicked out of med school and don't kick their rabbit. Plenty of people get kicked out of med school and don't light a woman and her daughter on fire. If he had suffered consequences for the rabbit, for the pigeon, we might not be dealing with a people-on-people situation, right? But I really don't know. This is far outside my field of expertise. However, I did make a note of a weirdo being a weirdo online, and that is the sort of thing that we cover on this channel. Unfortunately, in this situation, it went way further than it ever should have. There is a slight societal factor, as I've said. I place a slightly larger amount of blame onto the law enforcement agencies and judges involved. However, the largest amount of blame falls squarely onto the shoulders of this subhuman pile of garbage. How you could commit such unspeakable acts and still insist that you're the victim at the end of the day is just completely beyond me. I hope they bury him in prison, and that's about all I have to say about it. If you'd like to hear about some more creepy online real-life crossover stuff, I'm linking the Denko saga on the end card. Please like or subscribe on the video. If you did, leave your comments, thoughts. I'll be interested to see how this one performs. And of course, always remember, friends, that you are loved, you are worthy, you definitely deserve it, and I shall see you in the next one. So until then, bye-bye. Totally science.